on the Mitch McConnell news. Let's bring in Katie Pavlich, Fox News contributor and townhall.com editor. So, I mean, it's pretty clear that Mitch McConnell was not the most popular person, even amongst the Republican Party. He sort of made light of it in his speech, saying that he was going to step down soon, saying, I still have enough gas in the tank to thoroughly disappoint my critics, and I intend to do so with all the enthusiasm which they have become accustomed. Didn't give any indication that he wasn't going to stay after November, or after at least the new Congress is sworn in. But what do you think?
Well, his Senate term is up in 2026, so he has to make the decision about whether he's going to run again for that position. He's going to see out the year, get Republicans to November. And he has a long history, obviously, of Republican politics in the Senate, making moves that have greatly benefited the conservative movement, Republican power. The Supreme Court, of course, is one of those. He kept Attorney General Merrick Garland off of the Supreme Court when Barack Obama nominated him at the end of his term. He then helped replace Justice Ginsburg with Amy Coney Barrett 2 months before the election when Donald Trump nominated her to replace that seat on the Supreme Court. He also has been very successful at packing the federal court system with conservative judges who they believe will follow the Constitution in a way that will be more long-term than just a presidency or even Senate terms are. But you're right. Things do change over the course of a long career, especially decades in Washington.
I'm just wondering, it's difficult to go from being the leader to just another senator.
Maybe. I mean, Nancy Pelosi has done this in the House, right? She's gone from speaker to simply being in the House as a senator. But if you listen to what he said today about Father Time being undefeated, that maybe was an indication about where he's headed in terms of his Senate career after he leaves his position of leadership in November.
And Chad Pergram telling us at the top of the hour to now look at Barrasso, Thune, Cornyn. Those are the names on the short list right now to fill his shoes, Katie.
Well, we're going to see a big debate about who they think could be the next leader in the Senate. There'll be some, very magnifying of what Republicans are looking for in terms of the split you are seeing in the party. It is true that Mitch McConnell does have some differences with President Donald Trump. There is a Republican election coming up. And the leader of the Republicans and also for the Democrats is not just someone who does business in the Senate, but also has to keep in mind how they're able to win races around the country to solidify their majority to get their agenda through. So look at the way this played out in the House with the new speaker. You'll probably see something similar. You'll see people like Senator Josh Hawley, for example, wanting real changes when it comes to leadership, given that Mitch McConnell has been in place for so long. So there will be a big debate, and I'm sure we'll be covering every second of it here in Washington.
So as you point out, his term doesn't end until 2026. Why do you think he pulled the trigger now? Do you think it was health problems? Do you think he just got fed up with the process? I mean, you don't give up 17 years of leadership unless you've got a really compelling reason to do it.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of speculation about whether this was about the Trump factor, right? Of course, that plays some kind of role. But Mitch McConnell has had some very serious health issues over the course of the past year. After an election is a good time to bow out of a big position like this. It gives him time to be influential for the rest of the year as Republicans try to take back the White House and finish up business in the Senate. But in terms of timing, I don't have any insight exactly on why he decided to make this decision. There wasn't a heads up to his fellow senators. As Jackie reported, we're not sure if President Biden was given a heads up.
Yeah, Cornyn didn't even know.
There are lots of different reasons why he, I'm sure, chose this moment. But he's had a long career, and it may have just been the best time for him to make the announcement.
Well, we got 8 months to figure it out.
Indeed.
Katie, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Katie. Let's